Look, I'll tell you, in this business, when I started, it was almost 5 years ago, you would have those conferences with a bunch of brokers. And a lot of people that like in this business specifically, they start it's probably not even their first business. It's probably the second, third. Maybe they used to be employed somewhere and they decide to change their career. And most people that start in this business, the average, I would say probably 70 or 80%, they start in their late 30s, some even in the 40s. Most of my mentors, most of my bosses, they all started like in their late mid 30s. So it was really weird when you go into conferences and you're just a young guy, especially me, like when I was like 20 something, I look probably like 16 and I still look 16 if I shave my beard. So it was really weird when you go to conferences and you have like hundreds of people and they're all like in their 40s. They all have like gray hair and you're just there.
Hey guys, welcome back to the BIG Academy podcast. I'm your host, Alex Thorick, and today I have someone who I've known for a couple of years now. He actually went through our first boot camp that we started with Building Income on Demand, and I wanted to interview Timor, who is the young professional broker, or I should say, young mortgage broker serving nationwide clients based in Montreal. Welcome to the
Yeah,
show.
I actually recently, yeah, I got that award, the top younger broker, but sometimes I'm already close to my 30s. I'm very almost 30, and sometimes you forget that you're young. So that award I put in my desk just to remind that I'm actually
Yeah,
still young.
yeah,
I'm
and
still
that's what I
young.
wanted to ask him. Like, youngest broker, why? How is
Yeah.
it? Because I mean,
Look, I'll tell you, in this business, when I started, was almost 5 years ago. You would have those conferences with a bunch of brokers, and a lot of people that like in this business specifically, they start it's probably not even their first business. It's probably the second, third. Maybe they used to be employed somewhere and they decide to change their career. And most people that start in this business, the average, I would say probably 70 or 80%, they start in their late 30s, some even in the 40s. Most of my mentors, most of my bosses, they all started like in their late mid 30s.
hmm,
So it was really weird to when you go into conferences and you're just a young guy. Well, especially me, like when I was like 20 something, I look probably like 16 and I still look 16 if I shave my beard. So it was really weird when you go to conferences and you have like hundreds of people and they're all like in their 40s. They all have like gray hair and you're just there. You feel like a bit like you have the imposter syndrome, because they probably did like a couple of the mortgages. You're still renting. You never even did a mortgage in your life, your own personal. So it's kind of, yeah, it's a weird experience. That's why it
it's
says younger, because when you're 25, 28, 30, you're very young, especially for this industry. And I had mentors and had the realtors, top level realtors that tell me, with time, when you have a gray hair, you get more clients in this business because it does affect. But still, I know a lot of young guys my age, some of them even younger than me, that are killing in this business, and age doesn't matter. It's really who you are and how you present yourself.
oh, that's awesome. I'm excited
Yeah.
for you. I'm excited to see how you grow and you get to that next level in your career. Could you share with us how did you get started in the world of mortgage and it wasn't the first thing for you, I guess, as you
Yeah,
mentioned.
yeah. When I was a kid, for sure, I never thought I'm gonna be a mortgage broker. Like probably an astronaut or something else, a police officer or firefighter. For me, it was really, I always liked math. Math was always my best, where I had the best grades, and when I was younger, like compared to history and other stuff. So I always know I'm gonna work with numbers. I guess like every teenager, you get kind of lost at when you're like 18, 20. You don't know what you're gonna do in life. Me, I always had like at this point where I'm gonna work in a corporate world in an office with numbers, probably like a financial planner or something like that, like something big where I'm gonna make like an average salary, like above average salary, and I'm gonna be happy driving like a BMW, and I'm gonna be happy. And then I started university. I went to university, economics, sitting in class, and I'm just there sitting, listening to like outdated Karl Marx economics, 101 economics, which it's good. It's good knowledge. And at that time, I just met this guy who was much older than me. He was like in his mid 30s. He was a bank rep for like 10 years at our local bank here, Toronto Dominion, TD. And then he became a broker and he did everything. Was a financial planner. He did everything like in this financial space. And I saw like he was living well, you know. I saw like he had the guy, he was driving a nice car. He was like he would go somewhere out. Everybody knows him. Like he was like kind of like famous, you know, at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, let's go. And like, what do you do? He's telling me I'm a mortgage broker. I was like, okay, well, what is that? Like, I don't even know what the word mortgage means, right? I can actually tell you when the first day I went to school to register for the classes to get my license and all that, I still even didn't know the real definition of what of a mortgage is. Like I didn't understand it completely because I was like 18, just fresh out. I didn't even understand what's a mortgage. Like I know what's a loan, but what's a mortgage, I didn't know. So yeah, and then I looked what the business does, and I understood that I don't have to sell anything. It's really I sell kind of myself, my personality to be like you here. I'm gonna be the person who's gonna guide you with your mortgage. But I don't sell a product. I don't sell. I don't have to push something to people like oh create a demand here like oh you have to buy a house. I don't have to do that. Like I'm just there when the person actually looking to buy a home and they need a mortgage advice. I'm there. Huh, here, choose me. I'm gonna be your advisor. So that's what pretty much kind of like drew me into this business where I still work in the finance area, but I'm not a salesperson. I don't have to sell things to people, and that's the beauty of it, and I love it. Honestly, I had another choice of another career. It would be the same. It would be this in the same industry because I'm very passionate about it.
Oh, that's very interesting because I never thought about the mortgage industry not being in sales in a way. So it is mostly real estate. You're right.
Yes.
And the mortgage side goes, yeah, it's the second step right after that. Interesting. When you mentioned that you were going through economics 101, I started smiling because I had a similar thing when I was in college, and it was my third semester, and I had marketing 101. And I started buying courses on social media and advertisement and websites and everything that's related to digital marketing. And then I'm sitting in the class, I'm like, marketing 101? I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
So
good. You
that's
see, when you go into a self route where you're an entrepreneur, you started learning a bit more by yourself. You could go into university way and just, of course, get your bachelor's, master's, and then continue. But when you go into like open your own company and trying to do it on your own, you're learning the same way. It's just you're learning it by your own. You just read your own books. Me, honestly, I don't know how many books I read over about business, about mortgages, about real estate. Honestly, if I bring me back when I was in my university years, give me a book, force me to read it, it will be really hard for me. But when I started the business, it was kind of like I wanted to learn everything. I want to be the best the best in the best, you know. So I started
yeah.
to like expand my knowledge and read my own books and actually read so many books about like the finance industry, economics. And yeah, for sure, like the university gave me a bit of background. For sure, it's I don't say that it's always an experience. It's something that I learned, but
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
but
not saying
I
that's a
learned
bad
more on
knowledge.
the field. I learned more on the battlefield.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, you just mentioned entrepreneurship and what goes into that. What I noticed that in the world of business and entrepreneurial world, it is important to have a strong mindset because if you can't break through that, it's going to be super hard to
Yeah,
achieve something, to get results, to be successful, whatever it means to people. Because these days, success is some people making $1 billion. For other people, maybe it's 10K a month.
yeah.
So it's all relative. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you have an advice for entrepreneurs, maybe that are starting at this point, on what it takes to have a strong mindset?
Honestly, what it takes, I think it's just you gotta feel it inside. It's something that comes from the inside of you. It's something that desire, I guess, to really succeed. That's what it takes. There's no way around it. If you don't have a passion, for sure you would anything you're gonna do. Because a lot of those, like if you read a lot of those business and stuff, because they tell you you should do whatever you're passionate for, do
Hmm.
whatever. But anything you'll do, you should have a passion for your business. Absolutely. I'm 100% agree with this. But some days you're gonna hate it. Some days you're gonna hate clients. You're gonna hate whatever with your partners or whatever. What's gonna happen? There's gonna be circumstances that are gonna happen in your life with whatever business you're gonna run that you're gonna be hating it. But on the long run, is having the passion for whatever you do, and of course, the main goal that I read it in many successful businesses, it's about thinking about long term, not about short term, because there's people in different industry, in different businesses that try to grow a business short term, just make quick money and get out. But long term, they get bad reviews or bad reputation. And especially in certain fields, there's people that, like you said, go in the crypto space, right? If you're in the crypto
Hmm.
space, you are when you get a big level, most people that are in the big level, they will know you. If you have a bad reputation, nobody's going to do business with you. Over time, you can make a $1 million in 1 year and that's it, or you're going to make $10 million over 5 years because the business is going to keep growing and you're gonna have a good reputation. So it's always a trustworthy business. That's what I would say. Always try to do us act as in a good faith. That's the first thing, and always have the passion for sure. It's You're not gonna wake up every day and feeling like doing it, but you gotta do it because as a business owner, you have to understand you're waking up unemployed every day, so you have to create the
Pretty much.
demand for the income, right? But there's a beauty in it too. It gives you certain freedom. A lot of people think freedom, wow, I'm gonna be a businessman, be working not 9 to 5, whatever. But you will actually work more. I can tell you. Me, when I go on a vacation, half of the days, I think I'm gonna disconnect. I'm not gonna answer calls. But files come in and you gotta work on them. And I can't tell my clients, sorry, I'm on vacation. Call me back in a week. I gotta work the file because it's like it's a mortgage, right? It's the person's biggest purchase, right? I can't tell him just
Yeah.
f off. So I'm still working. Yeah, for sure. Once you get to a higher level, you can have an assistant, you can have stuff, and you can of course delegate those tasks, and you're gonna have work less. But even if you have assistants and stuff, and you go on a vacation, you're gonna still be working at least a couple of hours per day in your hotel room, wherever you are, because there's no way about it. You're working even more. So it's not like a maybe because on YouTube they sell a lot of those business courses and business beauty and this like become a forex trader. It's so easy. And honestly, if you know real forex traders are making money, they're working even more than people that are working 40 hours a week jobs, like stable jobs. So
They
that's the
do.
reality of it.
They do. Yeah. I had a friend of mine on the podcast about 6 months ago, and we were talking about difference between day trading and then doing it on a daily basis or long term. And I asked even him, like, do you day trade? He's like, well, I do sometimes, but it's you can't. You're gonna go nuts doing it. So there's always, even in
It's
there,
very
it's like
hard.
the yeah,
It's
it's
very hard.
the long term game as I mentioned previously.
Yeah. It's very hard. I see because I have friends that are really full-time trade traders, and it's not the day traders that you see on YouTube that drive the beautiful cars. They do drive beautiful cars, but you don't see them, and I see how much they work because I see their schedule, and it's more than a full-time job actually. So that's what most people have to understand about business. Business is there's a beauty in it, but it's also not the easiest thing. And a lot of people and a lot of business, if you look statistically, like I think what is it? It was like 1 of 5 businesses would fail within 10 years or something like that.
Yeah,
That's why it's even harder to get loans when you're trying to get a mortgage as a self-employed person. When you have a business, it's much harder for you to get a mortgage loan rather than someone who's employed who gets like his 40 hours a week and whatsoever. So
yeah,
yeah.
there's stability. Yeah. So what would you say is because you were jumping back into your career? So what is there one thing that you wish you had known when you began your career?
For me, I would say if I can go back and talk to myself, I would say to get the right mentorship, to actually be with the right person from the get-go who's going to teach you everything because it's a faster, you're going to basically, instead of doing your own mistakes, trial and error, and like, oh, this doesn't work. And in taking years, you're gonna grow. It's also a way to go. You're gonna grow. Maybe you're gonna save some money, but you're gonna grow slower. Rather than having the right mentorship where you right away you have someone by your side who already did the mistakes. You already fucked up many times and whatever you like how you can fuck up. So this way, when you go with this person, you learn from his mistakes and you don't make the same mistakes. It costs you less and you learn faster and the progression is also faster. So that's the main, I think I would say whatever business you want to do in life, you gotta if you start from fresh zero, you either have to be in this business and work for someone to understand the core of this business, to see how do you get clients, what type of what type of clients do you need, what type of clients you're looking for, and what type of mistakes you shouldn't be making based on their experience. So
Hmm.
that's the way to go, I think.
When you say you look for a mentorship or for a mentor, do you have a process where you would sift through finding a good mentor? Because these days everyone is a wannabe guru,
Um,
and
on
that's
it depends on what business you are. It depends on what business you are. But I would say the best way to, I think, in any business, it doesn't matter which whatever you do there, the best thing is, I guess, for mentorship is start to work within the same company. Maybe as an employee even. Maybe like start to work as an employee, just as an assistant, not as a business, not as like running a full business, but as an assistant and trying to understand the core of the business and understanding the whole process behind it and what does it take. So that's the way you could find a mentorship. So you it will be the mentor will be the owner, the CEO of the company, right? And then you look what he does. And if you have the chance to, of course, work closer to him, because some certain companies, of course, you go to like I know into logistics, the company that has like 300 employees, 400 employees, they're making like 15 million, 150 million in revenues, net revenues per year. There's no way you're gonna really work close to the boss.
yeah,
But you can find a smaller company, like smaller logistic company, maybe where they have a 10 employees. There you can work with a guy that you're gonna be working close to him and you're gonna learning the business. And then you're gonna work for him like 5, 6 years, and then you're gonna be slowly opening your own logistic company. So there's it's the same way for any business. In the core, every business is almost the same. There's always clients. That's the main thing. You have no clients, you have no business. That's whatever you can have the nicest pitches, you can have the nicest programs, the nicest CRMs, whatever you want. But if you don't have clients, you're not gonna survive.
yeah,
So that's the thing.
no
So
sales.
yeah, exactly. And then from there, of course, when you have the leads, you have the clients, then you have to sell it, you have to sell the product, you have to know you can generate the revenue on whatever product you're offering. So that's the thing with business. And every business is the same. Like if you look on the surface, it's all the same. Whether you sell ice creams or you sell mortgage or you do mortgages, right? So,
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I was recording a video a couple of months ago about this topic where I jumped into it and explained like it really comes down to three things. It's marketing, sales, and fulfillment. And the fulfillment part is whether it's a product or service.
yeah.
Well, since we started talking about running a business and sales and getting clients, do you have, and since you also became the top young mortgage broker in the industry, is there a strategy that you used, a marketing strategy that you used to get to this level, or there was,
Um,
or there was a bunch of things?
Uh, I think it's a lot. You have to very diversify, especially like right now. How is the industry turned in the mortgage, like with the high rates and everything? And
Hmm.
I see a lot of people are suffering, especially realtors, right? Because there's less sales and less purchases. It's much harder for them to get the listings and everything. But the guys that know go back to the core value where you have to do cold calls, do like the things that nobody wants to do and they diversify. They do the cold calls, they do the door knocking, they have other different markets. So it's a cumulative of everything that makes you busy, even in hard times. So that's the thing. There's no one specific thing. Of course, you can do Facebook ads. You can go send letters. You can do direct mailing to people. You can call all your like every person you know and be like introduce yourself and tell them, look, I'm in the mortgage business. If you have people that want to buy, sell, whatever, like you give me, ask them to give me a call. I can do their mortgage. Like there's many ways. There's no
Hmm.
one specific way. Some people I know people that could be succeeding. They're very successful. They just run the career just on door knocking. There's other people that are just very successful doing like ads. I know a young guy actually. He's very famous. He's actually one top producer in Quebec. This kid started few years maybe ago. This guy is crazy. He's doing crazy volume just from TikTok videos, and that's it. So there's
Oh
there's
wow!
no there's no one. It's you can of course you can do it on one way, like just one strategy, but you have to find like the thing that works for you based on your personality, what you like. what's hard. But the key to this is really to do what's nobody wants to do, what's hard, what's annoying. That's where I think that's where what brings you the most business. Because doing Facebook ads, it's it takes money. It's not hard, but it takes a lot. Like the whole process to get your phone ringing from Facebook ads is not hard because you're gonna get a lot of people that are gonna call you. They don't even have the money for the down payment. But the key is to, of course, the hard part of it is to tweak it and spend so much money towards to getting the perfect ad where you can get those clients where they it's quality leads, it's
Yeah,
quality
the
clients.
qualified.
So it's also a strategy. There's many strategies. There's no one strategy that could make you succeed. And I tried many of them. Um, Facebook
Which one worked for you the best, except referrals?
direct mailing. Direct mailing is a big one for me. Facebook, we're back right now as a team. We're starting to get a lot of traction on Facebook. We're
Nice.
still going back and forth with which ads and how we create with the landing pages and everything because you can get a lot of honestly you can get every day you can get 150 people to call, but if you're
Oh
not
yeah, if they're not
proper,
qualified, was yeah,
yeah, there's
there's no
no
point.
point. Right? You're gonna waste a lot of time. So yeah, they have the will because they for sure they put their phone number, they put the email, they have the willingness to maybe get a mortgage. But at the same time, it's people that are like, oh, I want to buy a home, I don't have money down. Like, okay, like how can I help you? Like I can tell you what you can do, save money, come on and buy a home. Like that's how much you need. I can tell you that. But if you don't have money, I can't just create money for you. And
Hmm.
so yeah, it's
One,
so there's everything. Yeah,
since you mentioned Facebook, have you guys tried on Facebook lead ads?
on Facebook,
Lead ads,
lead ads
when
was that.
yeah, so one of that's when people see an ad and they click on the ad itself instead of going to, let's say, a landing page or website, a form pops up right on Facebook where you ask for their contact info.
I think that's what we do because I'm not taking care of this one, so I'm
Okay.
not really good sure. I just I just take care of the work talking to the client, but I'm not sure. But I think it is because that's what we get. We get I think they click on the ad and then it's within Facebook because we don't go to a landing page. That's what actually I actually want them to convert to a landing page because the leads that we get lately they're very like it's not. Some of them are good, but out of 10, 1 out of 10 is a good lead. But some of them it's a lot of like there's no
Hmm.
point in it, right? There's
Do you also do a
so
form after that? Like
do what?
a qual-
Sorry, I didn't hear
uh,
you.
do you also do a qualification form after that?
Well, that's what we're going to implement. That's what we're looking
Really?
to implement. Because the Facebook ads, it was really never the thing for us. For us, it was always the old school business that's doing
Hmm.
directly. So one of the biggest thing is just call realtors. Like as a mortgage broker, call realtors and deal with realtors directly. Call, just sell yourself your service because realtors, honestly, statistically, because I did a lot. I read so many marketing books about for mortgages and real estate. Realtors is the one of the best influence for mortgage brokers, right? Because when I get a lead from a realtor, usually it's a very good lead. First of all, it's a warm lead, so I don't even have to sell myself as a professional. Sometimes you do because sometimes the clients they tend to have to shop around, whatever. It's fine,
Hmm.
but it's already they call them. They're like, oh yeah, hey, like they already they're expecting your call already, right? So now you just have to just make sure that you give them the best service so they're happy. That's it. There's no even sell process in that that's involved. So that's so realtors because realtors usually want people they want to buy a home. They don't go look for a mortgage. They look for a realtor. That's I
Pretty
don't know why
much,
it's
yeah.
interesting like this. That's what they do. They actually go for a realtor. So there's actually realtors are more prone to get the client first contact before because how many realtors sometimes they do an open house. The client comes in. "Oh, I want to buy this house. Are you pre-approved for a mortgage? Oh no, I don't even like they don't even know what the hell it is. So they're like, okay, here's my mortgage broker. So oftentimes the realtors have a better, they have the first contact with the client.
Well,
So that's a good thing.
they're kind of the face of the entire industry
Yeah,
in a way.
exactly. When you
Yeah.
think about real estate, you think of mortgage broker. Actually, in Quebec, because it wasn't so popular, because when people used to work only with their banks, so a
Hmm.
mortgage broker wasn't as a popular as a profession versus like the rest of Canada. I would let like before when I started, I would tell people, oh, I'm a mortgage broker. Like, oh yeah, so I'm selling my home. Do you wanna list it? I'm like, no, I'm a realtor. I'm a mortgage broker. So they think it's the same thing, you know.
That's
But yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, when you think real estate, you think you seen if you close your eyes and think real estate, you either see a developer or a real estate agent. You don't see a mortgage broker. You don't. I don't know why, but that's how. Even myself, when I think real estate, I think realtor.
Yeah. Well, I guess because it comes from real. So
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. It's also the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Got it. Well, I wanted to ask you, how do you stand out from your competition, but you did cover most of it in a way, unless you have a trick that you use.
Look, depends on business you run. There's no trick. If you look on the market share, right? On the market share, I can be the best. I can be the second the best. I can be top 10. I'm gonna be still making good living. So
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't matter for me. It doesn't matter of how much, how good I'm gonna be or like how the best I want. I don't want to be on like I don't want to get these awards of like being the best. So everybody knows me. For me, the most important is to just actually when I work with a the client is happy. That's it. That's the number one. And the more people I help, the happier I am. Because honestly, I can tell you, the best recognition you get is when a client you did their mortgage and they tell you, "Thank you very much for helping me." You're like you're basically like a god for them at that moment. This is the best recognition you ever need. Like the awards and all that. That's all like I actually don't even like that. Honestly, it's too much. It's I like uh, I don't care. Like whatever volume I did, I did. It's not. I don't want to be freaking. Oh, here you're such a cool guy. You made so much money. Like
you're a
I don't
big
want to talk
deal,
about
right?
it. Yeah, like fuck that. But the recognition that
That's
you get from clients, that what's
yeah,
worth. Like the more people you, and actually that actually motivates you. You know, like every time you talk to a
it does
client and
feel
a client
good.
tells you, that's actually pushes you forward. It's not the awards, it's not the numbers that you do, and you're like, oh, I'm going to close 50 million in sales. I'm going to close 100 million in volume this year. But it's not this that's going to push you. It's really the recognition of people. That's what you value, and that's what pushes you forward.
I love it. Yeah, building building relationships with those people too. Well, I do have one more question.
You can have
So
two.
I can have to. Okay, I'm gonna have to then. So in today's world, we have a little bit of a crazy world, and you know how people say an average millionaire has seven streams of income. How
Okay.
many streams of income do you think people need to have, especially in today's world? And I'm not really talking about making millions necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, every person I know that's because when you work in this business, you will meet actually millionaires and you will have close contact with people that are rich. And some of them will be your clients, of course. And you can see, of course, you see the dirty laundry. So you would see where the cup of stream, what kind of stream of income they have. And most people that are really well off, they have multiple. It's not one. And even guys like who are in mortgage industry, most guys, I'll tell you, most guys in the mortgage industry, mortgage brokers, most of them, their stream of income, it's mortgages. They'll have either people that under them that also do mortgages, so they get like they train them, they get commissions, they get like a piece of it, or they have like real estate. Same thing for realtors. A lot of realtors, I have a lot of realty clients. Same thing. They all have like a big portfolio of clients of real estate.
Hmm.
A lot of them, some of them have multi-units, some of them have duplexes, triplexes, single family, a bunch of rentals. That's what most people, because that's the industry. They understand that industry, so they just diversify that income this way. But then you meet guys that have maybe something else. They might have he might be a realtor. He's gonna have another coffee shop. It doesn't mean that but a lot of people that are well off, they have multiple incomes, and you always have to strive to look for how to diversify, because nothing, first of all, nothing is guaranteed forever. I'm pretty sure this business, maybe the business I am in right now, maybe in the next 10 years with the technology of AI, how everything is advancing with AI, I'm pretty sure maybe this business not going to even exist. So I can't just put all my baskets in one thing, and I gotta always think about the next how I can make extra living. Why not? And it's as long as you like whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. You could have three, five, six, seven. Of course, like they think like how Elon Musk he has like so many companies, whatever, so many scam companies. Sorry, I didn't say that, whatever. But
Why? Wait. Why scam?
no, I mean, it's not scam, but it's just because a lot of these companies, I think they're overvalued. But whatever.
Oh, well,
Like
yeah.
like this guy has so many businesses, SpaceX, Tesla, this, that, the Model 3 truck that people put the deposit for. They has like a few $1 million in fucking deposits for for the Tesla truck, and
Oh,
it's been
the
fucking years now.
Cybertruck.
The Cybertruck, whatever. It's
Hey,
been
wait,
years now.
I was one of those people, and then I got a
You got your
refund
refund?
because,
Yeah, okay,
well, yeah,
good.
because I realized. So the reason was I realized that they have cameras inside the car, and I'm
Mm.
like, I don't want them to film inside the car. It's kind of my
Yeah,
car.
no sex in the car. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do people think about it right away?
No, for sure. It's kind of like I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
you drive, you talk on the phone, and this and that,
yeah,
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 and then
yeah.
all the information goes into the cloud.
But then, yeah, of course, when you look at people that have like billionaires, it's for sure they don't manage each company. They don't micromanage each company. They have people that in place. They
Oh
have
yeah,
directors, CEOs for every company, and they don't really they own the company. They're like the biggest shareholder, but they don't manage it. So that's the thing. But when if you're talking about normal people like me and yourself who wants
yeah,
to start like getting to okay millions, we're not talking about
yeah.
billions, millions. Yeah, most of people will diversify. Like you will see there, here and there, maybe a millionaire that's he's just in one. He has one
One
business, but
niche,
most
yeah.
people will diversify. But also, you shouldn't be also jumping from one thing to another. You should like, if you have a business, you should like give it 100%, and the extra 20 you can diversify it. Because
Yeah, that's what people like to do. Well, I'm guilty of that as well. Because at some point I saw where the e-commerce is going, so I jumped into that and started working on it, and then
mhm.
it didn't work out. And looking back at it, I'm like, oh, I wasted so many hours,
Look,
and I
you
learned
wasted
and I
hours,
learned a lot of
but
things
you
too.
learned something. Yeah, that's
Oh
the
yeah,
thing. You
I
can't.
learned a
It's
lot.
always people understand. There's a lot of failures in the business world. You're gonna fail hundreds of times. Like I don't know how many. I can't even tell you how many times I failed before starting to get traction. And even though right now I'm not, I can't say I'm like freaking. I'm a crazy top producer, whatever. I'm still growing, and I still always have a goal. And when I'm gonna attain this goal, I'm gonna have another goal, and it's gonna be always. It's always a learning process. You never learn. You never stop learning. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, especially the personal development side of things, you always need to upgrade yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
And the way the world is moving,
Yeah.
there is no other
Absolutely.
way around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All
I
right.
don't know any dentist that doesn't who finished his license 10 years ago and he's like, oh, I'm still using the old technologies. No, there's new technology that come in with dentistry. You gotta learn to use it. Any business is always development, and
Yeah.
you always have to adapt because those that don't adapt, they die. Same thing with the real estate market. Like now it's a bit harder for realtors, but I know a good amount of realtors they don't care. They just go back to the one-on-one basics of real estate, and they're still busy. So yeah, that's the thing. You gotta adapt.
Can't agree with you more.
Yeah.
Well, I do have one last question. So, if somebody wants to get a mortgage, not not buy a house, you're not gonna show them the house. But somebody wants to get if somebody, well, as you were making that joke earlier. So yeah, if somebody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
On Instagram, I don't know if you can post my email. Usually the
Yeah,
email is the easiest way. People send me my email. I usually always check my spam, so because sometimes I get my emails into spam. But
happens.
yeah, email, Instagram. You can post my Instagram. People can always reach me. Whether they have any questions, like even basic questions. There's no stupid questions. And honestly, sometimes people they're a bit shy to call and ask certain questions. Sometimes people they try to email you because they think they're gonna ask a stupid question, but even team, I know myself when I started this business, I didn't even know what the fuck the word mortgage meant when I already was doing my license to become a mortgage broker. So there's no stupid question. And it's a big topic that's very hard. Sometimes we as professionals we forget when we speak with clients, we start talking to them and they lose you because for us it's became the normal thing, like we always
Mhm.
talk this the numbers terms and all this, but for them it's Chinese and they're like, oh, whoa, like stop. Like you gotta go like explain to them like with a kid, this
Step
is
by
your
step,
what's
yeah.
a prepayment, what's an amortization, what's a prepayment, what's a lump sum payment, what's the accelerated biweekly, accelerated monthly, like all those like terms. For us it's something easy because we already in the business, but for some people of course sure it's and there's a lot of there's so much information there, so much, and it's always changing. So it's hard for the normal person who's not a broker, who doesn't work in this industry to keep up to date. Some people think they know everything, especially like the people that there'll be this here and there, like somebody who did like two mortgages in their life and think they know everything, but whatever. They for sure don't. They for sure don't, because even me, I learn every day, and I've been doing it full time for the past 5 years, and it's still every day I can something learn a new policy at one bank, a new policy that changes another bank, a government policy that comes out, rules changes, like foreign investors rule just changed, like you can't
Oh
buy a
yeah, I heard
property
about
anymore
that.
as a foreigner investor, so like it changes all the time. Well,
Very interesting. Well, Timor, thanks a lot for coming to the
you're
show.
welcome. Thank you. Thank you for
Appreciate your
having me as a
time.
host. It's my honor.
Yeah, it was
And hopefully you come to
great.
Montreal and we'll have some coffee. I don't drink anymore. I try to stay away from alcohol and drinking. Try
Same here,
to
unless it's wine.
doesn't matter. It's
Oh,
all
oh no,
what
no,
is it called?
it's because it's proven that it's good for your health. So my
Yeah.
wife and I started reading this book from he's the doctor of Chinese
It's
medicine.
every alcohol is ethanol spirit, right? It's ethanol, so it doesn't matter how it's converted. It's still ethanol, and apparently it doesn't matter why. But honestly, it's all bullshit because I know people that live for years. The Georgian drinks wine for
Yeah,
years every day, and they live until 90. So I think it's a bullshit, and there's a lot of bullshit, especially right now with our time YouTube. You can see a lot of information.
yeah,
Basically, you won't eat anything. Meat is bad, fruits is bad, vegetable is bad, milk is bad, everything. So too much information.
I know,
Yeah,
crazy world we live in. Not
yeah.
to go back to how our
But
grandparents lived.
it's the greatest time. It's crazy world, but it's the greatest time we're living, and
It
I
is.
really believe in it. And I really believe in it.
Yeah, I'm excited to what's gonna come.